G'day, how you going? I'm Ianapolis, your acrylic guru. Welcome to my video channel here. I want to get some sizes on the canvas before we get too far into this so people can write them down in centimetres and inches, and we'll also put some colours going up the screen there so you know what colours we're going to use, alright? And we're going to do a scenery for beginners today. Something we'll work out the horizon line up or down where you should have the horizon line, and we'll get some simple scenery detail onto this canvas, something that you as a beginner can learn, all right, and follow along with. You've seen the picture in the opening credits there, so that's what we're going to paint today. So get on over here and we'll start from scratch with our bloody big pencil on a little canvas there, just how to sketch something in and how to paint it as a beginner, okay? Watch this a couple of times and see what colours we're using, what brushes I'm using, and what brushes might work for you, okay? All right, the main backbone, I suppose, to any painting would be the horizon line, whether it's going to be up here or down here, okay? Or in the middle. You want to try and keep it out of the middle, but sometimes a picture layout needs it to be in the middle. Now this one will probably have, let's say that's halfway there. Let's put the pencil halfway on our canvas palette, on our board there so you can see. And I want to go just a tidbit. Oh, don't scratch the paint off there, Ian. You've got to repaint it again. I want to go a tidbit under halfway. So about there, about there, about there. Okay, so we're going to have some water. It's up to you what you have in this foreground, whether it's grass growing or an island or something totally different. Bits of grass coming in over the water, just like that. Okay, maybe some smaller bits on this side. Now I want some landmass, so I want a nice, like, grassy landmass in the water there. Okay, let's go about just short of halfway hopefully, and then we'll do our trees. Now you want to do trees with some beautiful depth. I just want to show you how to get that done, okay? You can either, if anything, come up off the painting, and you want to try and stop it from looking like a flat row of trees or something. We've got to try and make things look forward and backwards from each other, okay? And I'm going to try and do that in this painting. And then we've got this open for the sky. Is our sky going to have a setting sun with colours, or is it just going to be a beautiful blue sky, or is it going to be a sort of a grey overcast sky? I've done a few warm skies lately, so I might make this a beautiful daytime, trying to get it realistic sky. So I've got just craft paint here, student craft paint, and some retarder, which will slow down the drying time of acrylic paint. Now this stuff, it's a very flowable paint. Watch it come out of the bottle. I call it flow paint because see how it just flows out of there like that. I just want enough there to paint the sky area. All right. Put that down there, and I just want to squirt a dollop of this retarder into that. Okay, now see how much I've used there. I'm in quite a normal dry climate. It's not humid and it's not overly dry here. And I want to grab a 2-inch, I use a flat 2-inch synthetic brush from the hardware store. Nothing fancy, and it's bloody cheap. All right, now I'll use this as a mixing tool and also load my brush up at the same time. And these skies that I teach are really easy to do once you've got the hardware behind you, like the putter on a brush, the retarder, the craft paint, student poster paint, whatever you call it. Now we've mapped in our canvas. So let's just do the sky half first. Leave those trees out because you don't want to have all this wet, rubbery, retarded paint dry, or you think it's dry and you're trying to paint trees on there. So we're just pretty much, let's get this to the horizon line. Use a brush like this, scratch it into there, and then scratch it to where you roughly want your trees, okay? So that's why we've mapped it in, because we know where we're going to go, all right? And then massage this into the tooth of your canvas. I love using a toothed canvas. You get a way better finish and results of your painting, okay? Now I'm just going to wipe this brush and I'm going to add the blue colour for the sky. Now I love cerulean blue, okay? So I'm going to pick up this, and that white on the board is going to lighten this up so it's not a dark blue sky. You don't want the sky to be comical blue, cartoony blue. You want it to be realistic blue. I feel this is more of a realistic colour. So I'm just loading my brush up there. I will start from the top. Just get it to everywhere. Pushing it into that white retarded craft paint. Don't worry how it's looking at this stage, just get it on there. Okay, and now start pushing it left and right with your brush until you get a nice, beautiful, even surface there. It's not too brush strokey. Okay, I might pick up a little bit of white just to get the bottom a bit lighter. And if you get the bottom of your sky blue lighter than the top, it creates that sphere type of look, giving you the atmosphere within your sky. It's just not a big flat blue curtain you're looking at. That's good enough. Now everything on the canvas is wet. This is quinacridone magenta here. I just want to get a bit on the tip of my brush, not too much. I've washed my brush out. Okay, just a little bit on the tip of the brush, just to get some warmth in the sky. And we want the warmth down here. You don't want it way up there. You want it just a bit above the horizon line. So scoot a bit of this in like that, any old way. Don't think about it. See, I've just put that on there. I'll wipe the build-up off that brush. Okay. And we're just going to push this through the sky. Now, if this stays too straight, you sort of push it up with X strokes. Let's see how we're going to go. So we'll push that up with X strokes like that, so it's not too much of a flat, deliberate line. There we go. Beautiful. And now we'll just stroke it this way. It is a little bit, I'm picking up some more blue. It is a little bit, I'm wiping the brush and picking up some more white now, because it was a little bit strong down the bottom. There we go. And we've just got that warmth, haze of warmth in the sky. Get a little bit more there now. There we go. Ready for some clouds. Okay, you want to do some good effective clouds. You want to learn some good effective clouds, and you want to stick to one way to do your clouds. I'm going to show you a real simple, effective, realistic looking way to do your clouds. A couple of blending brushes. Now I've got these sizes because the area I'm doing is a small footprint, but they're just from the hardware store. They're very flat at the edge here, very flat. Okay, and they've got stability, and they're going to create turmoil. And just a couple of fan brushes, a larger and a smaller one, some grey, medium grey, and just titanium white out the tube. Now everything on the canvas is still wet, and I'll use this smaller one because I want to get some down in the horizon line there. And if anything, let's just say the top of this canvas is the horizon line. If anything in your head, get lineal ones like this down on the horizon line. The bottom of them can be blended down to the horizon line, it'll fade, okay? And then you might start putting stuff over your head this way, big chunky one there, and maybe a big chunky one there, okay? And these ones are blended from the top down to nothing. These are blended from the bums and then turmoiled up. That's what's going to happen on the canvas. Alright, so I'm picking up the paint on the brush. There's my horizon line, so we'll get something down in the horizon just so you can see what I was talking about. So I'll just do some lineal stuff, maybe one there, and something maybe here, okay? There we go. Now I'm going to grab the smaller blending brush. The top of it, it's okay, and I want to get this blended down to the horizon line, okay? Leaving the top of that hard. There we go. That's it. These are going to look like reasonably realistic clouds. Wipe your brush and do the same with this one. Just leaving the top there. All that blue that this is stamped on is still wet and retarded, and it's allowing this to blend the way you see me blending it right now. Okay? And it's up to you how you want to finish it off, just like what I'm doing here now, just massaging it, stroking it, feeling artistic with your work. There we go. Now I've cleaned that brush and I'm picking up some more. I want to take advantage of something in this quinacridone magenta we put in there, so I'll start from the middle because it's going to pick that up. Now this is a bigger cloud. Probably not going to need that other bigger fan brush because it's a small canvas I'm using today. So we'll put this there like that. Okay. Grab your blending brush. Now this one, because it's higher up, we're having a bum. So there's the brush. I'm getting this edge here just to manipulate the bum part of the cloud. So I'm doing that, creating the bum part of the cloud. There we go. Try not to think about it too much. Good enough. Keep your brush wiped. And then you want to turmoil and twist all that around. A lot of regular viewers know how I do my clouds, and it does take a long time to master clouds. If you think, my God, I can never do that, you can do anything. You put practice into it, okay? There's a cloud there, beautiful. It's got a bit of heavy white there. It's misting away to nothing here. Let's put some more onto the sky. And we'll put some over our head. So we'll go from here. Now, if anything, the blue that I've put on there, I feel I went a bit overboard with the retarder, but it's still working. And these sort of zigzag and funnel wider as they get to the top of the painting to give them that illusion, just like that, that they're over your head. See, they can just be a pass of the brush hitting the blue. But it's important, see, like here, get a bottom on that, bit of a bottom, turmoil, wipe your brush straight away. Let things happen, lighter and darker values of that white paint. Some of it's misting away, see? And it's always lineal if you can help it. It just looks good for the painting. Okay, so I'll get a bit of a bum on there and get turmoil going in that. Okay, and the same up here, just turmoiling those clouds. And over here. And they're going lighter values of the white, brighter values of that white. There we go. Just for the art's sake, I want to grab some of this magenta here. I want something just in there. I just do. So I'm going to do a lineal one coming off the painting. I want something blending within there just because I do. I want to try and get some, let's see if I can get some value out of that. That'll be all right. Okay, the clouds are done. They're pretty much one tone. Some of them have got more brighter values than others, but now we're just going to add the yumminess. But before we add the yumminess, I put the grey there. I forgot about that. So let's get a little bit of this grey, not too much. This is going to be the second value, the weather in the clouds. There's not a big blob in me brush, it's just on there enough. And pick some of the big, not these bottom ones, let's just pick maybe a little bit within this one. This is very dark, so you don't need much. Wipe that brush and just smear that weather within that cloud. I'll do some of the bigger one now. Maybe this here a little bit, just there. Just very little. It's very dark. You either work out if you've got a dark or a medium or a light grey. Okay, we're just getting those greys within the cloud. and maybe just some within this. Just adds that shadow, the element of weather within your clouds there. Just very lightly sit that down within the white, so you're getting that cloud thickness, colour and weather there together. Practice this. You need to practice your clouds. Clouds can be the most simplest looking thing on a painting, but they can be the most difficult thing to achieve. Now we'll add the yumminess. So we're getting the pure white, titanium white. Now, see, I've got a big blob on the brush. I want to train that and get it on there so I know it's going to come off the brush onto the canvas without uncontrollable blobs. Now, not everywhere, just where we put that grey, let's go here, we just want to add some more brighter white within those clouds, and we're creating yumminess. I better not go too far. I just want to, now you leave the vibrancy of it there. See how small my blending brush is now, because these are only small clouds. Just push it down within the white and the grey, but still leaving the intensity of it there. You got me? That way it's going to create the illusion that the cloud has got 3 dimensions to it. Get a little bit within this one. There we go there. I'll just quickly sit that down there. And those white ones down the bottom, we can always put something, I'll just show you, just in front of it, just like that. Real heavy white at the top of it. That's it. And blend the bottom of that right down to the horizon line. And there's our sky. We've got a reasonable, easy, realistic looking sky. You can blend and paint. Now just this sky in itself is a tutorial within itself, just how to get a sky looking like that, because you'll see when I put the horizon line and everything onto it, how it's going to make it look. And we've got a window of depth right there, if you want that to happen. I might just put something else here just to break that corner up, because I'm not quite happy with it. This can be a gap filler of a cloud, just something like that. See how easy they are when you know what you can do. Okay, I'm grabbing this craft paint again. I've added some more on there, but I haven't added any more retarder. I'm just using what's left on there. I've dried all this area here. Now I want to put in the water level. So we'll get this to the clouds where you want it. I mean, when we penciled it in, it might have been a bit higher, but it's just a reference there to go by. It doesn't mean it has to be there. So we'll get this water there. Now we're going to map in this water with this craft paint. Why? Because it's going to allow the colours to move on the canvas and slide and slip and blend together like a beautiful water looking surface. Okay. Now I'm going to just push that in nicely. That's good enough. Just want to pick up some of the cerulean blue. And we'll get some of the blue in here now. So get it against there. There we go. Just get it on there first. Go the other way. Now you take your time. There's no rush to do your painting. Okay, there we go. Just get that on there. Blend it through. Not bad, not bad, not bad. We've got water there. I'm going to put the slightest bit of, there we go. I just put a very little bit there of that magenta, just to reflect those colours, warm colours from the sky into the water. Get it all the way down to the bottom here. I want to pick up some white too, because I don't want it too blue. There we go. There we go, there we go. Beautiful. Now Now just pull that across. Now I've just wiped that brush. I want more white, titanium white in the water now to emulate the brightness and the clouds. Probably around this area here, so I'll try and just get that area brightened up just like that, pushing it on. Then I can stroke it through, because if I tried stroking it through, I probably would have lost it in all that blue paint, and then that white glare there might not have standed out as much as it's going to now. See there, look at that. There we go, got it. Now next on the palette is a couple of greens. I've got forest green here, and I've got yellow green, and I've just got some yellow as well. And I'm just using a flat brush just so I can map in my little mid-ground area there. So you can use a stick, a ruler, whatever's going to help you here. And we'll come, where I'll get that to from about the middle or wherever. We'll just get this straight line in there first. There we go. Reasonable. This stick ruler just helps you get it quite level. We've got that done, and now I'm going to use two brushes. I'm going to use my flat filbert, like a cat tongue type of thing, and I'm just going to load up the forest green as well. I've used that flat for there, and now I want to get the shape of my trees. I want some air in between them. See here coming into the sky? So get that mastered first, so you can come along and just get the shape you want there. If anything, I'm going to come along to the point there and get all that tapped in, get some air between your trees. And then once you've got this done, you can just go crazy and block it in. And this is a good brush to do this with. I love using this filbert. There we go. We'll leave a bit of a point there just for the artistic sake of the art. Okay, now we've got, see how we've got air between all of this? Now work out where you want all the solid bits to be now, right? About here. See what I'm doing? And I've dried everything. I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm telling you again. I've dried everything there where this is getting stamped on. And then we'll just pat all this into there. Okay. There we go. Looking good. Okay, you've blocked that in. Now we want to get this into the water. So pretty much, is my camera on? Yes. Use the same brush. Doesn't have to be the same. You can be a bit smaller and higher up. Get it there and do some little pull downs. Okay, so it's wet straight away. A little bit and then pull it down. So you're getting these scratchy hairs on it straight away. If you do too much and try and pull it down, it won't work. So a little bit more and then just pull it down. We're going to get a bit deeper into the reflection here now. Don't worry about too much up here. Just get the actual edge done. Pull it down. Then you can block it in. Make sure all the water's dry first, otherwise you could be scratching the layers of blue off and coming into your green, and it'll frustrate you. Around here somewhere, pull it down like that. Pull it down, see? I'm just dancing it on, pulling it down. Now even this is a procedure within itself. You can practice if you feel it's going to be difficult. Don't watch someone do it, think you got to try and do it and it's too hard. You got to practice it so you know when you put it in a painting that you can do it. Okay, we've got that pretty much pulled down. Now I can just block all this reflection in the water. Okay, then we'll dry it. With these land masses that I do, I like to dry every colour before adding the next colour, the highlight or the darker value, whatever it may be. Now I'm going to dry it like I said before I put another colour on there, so it's just not going to scratch all that one off. Okay, that's dry. I've just got some Mars black here. Get it, you just dip your brush the littlest bit. You don't want it sloppy wet, you just want it enough. Now the next simple thing you do for a green landmass in the middle of a painting like this, you've done your dark green. This is another simple way you can do it. Now see the middle? You want, that's further away from you, so don't worry too much there. You want to come across the middle line, the horizon line, and sort of bring up shadows within the bush and then mirror those movements down in the water, okay, just like that. So if anything, we're doing a black line all the way across there, but with some pockets of shadow within your bush. So we'll get the top bit done just like that. It doesn't have to be solid, it can be all scratchy, hairy looking, and just mirror image the same down below roughly. It's fun to do these reflections like this. It doesn't have to be wet and you've got to pull it all down at once. Like I think the oil painters can do it like that, but we can do it like this because we're using acrylic. Acrylic's a lot of fun. It's neat, it's dry, it's easy to clean up. All right, you don't overdo this black. You don't want to kill all that green you put there. All right, I've dried that black. Now we're going to put a bit of a ground on this before we finish it off. So grab yourself a brush. I've got like a thick liner brush. I'm not sure what number it is. There's that much paint on the handle, I can't even read it anymore. And I'm going to use some simple yellow ochre. All right, so that's out of the tube. It's a bit gluggy, so I'm wetting the brush just so we can get some movement on the canvas as the brush was pushed around. So I want to start pretty much out here. In the middle of that black you just put on, get it thick, twist it, keep it on the horizon line. Twist your brush. I'm going to lift off and reload it. Okay. This just adds that little bank in front of the bushes on the water there. The middle can be quite broad, like come down here. There we go, nice, and you see what I'm doing, twist it. Okay, now just level it up and neaten it up, so I want the top reasonably straight. Whoa. And if you do make any stupid accidents, you can just put the appropriate colour back in front of it, like the black or the green, whatever it may be. Okay, and a bit wider here. There we go. Give that little bit of dry just on its own like that. And once you've dried it, pick up, I've got a 1/2 inch flat brush. I want to grab that black again, just so as I can get the line. I want to control a line within the middle of what we just put on there, okay? Use your ruler or your bullshit stick, something to give you that great control. And we want to, in the middle of that, just from about there, just stamp on a black line within the middle of that land you put there, because that's determining the top side and the reflection side. That'll do. That will do. Okay, back to our greens now. So we've got the yellow green. Let's use this and highlight what we've just put on. And we want to highlight this green now, leaving pockets of black. Work out how wet you need your brush. You don't want it too wet. And we're going to highlight this with the yellow green, and then we'll mix a bit of the yellow with this to highlight this again. Now you want pockets of black. You want bits of this swinging and draping down over the black there, just like that, a little bit. Okay, up here. Don't worry about your reflection yet. Let's just get this sorted first. Now come to that lower dark half and get some distinct bits of this green over your dark there. There we go. I'm liking that. Good. The other colour we put onto this is going to really accentuate that. Okay, let's get our reflection colours on. So this now, you're not doing it and then pulling it. If anything, you're just sort of putting it on in the areas where you feel it was in the top, just like this. So it's already got that blurry water reflection look within it. Okay, just like that. Now I've got that a bit watery, so I'm going to get the actual paint itself, because it's too watery, it goes opaque and you can't see it. There we go. I'll get it on my board up here and do it. There we go. We're just pulling it down. Get the brush and hit it and pull it down as you're doing it. You're getting those deliberate start marks within it. Some out here. Leaving the darks. Don't cover all your darks up, otherwise you'll go, oh, I stuffed it. How come it didn't look like that? Now that yellow that we put on the board, we'll grab some of that and mix with this yellow green. I'll get some more of that over here. And that's going to highlight that yellow green. Don't want it too yellow, but you don't want it not enough as well. You've got to find that right amount where it's going to highlight it, okay? Now try not to get too carried away and kill all the ins and outs, highs and lows of all that. Just don't think about it, but just try and highlight little bits of that now, and check the value of this and see if it's the right brightness. Got a big blob on my brush there. I don't want to kill it with that. Just, and then bring some of this down over the darks there as well. Just subtly. Now it's up to you. You can even add some trunks within this canopy of bushes here if you want. I'm not going to worry about it, but it's just something you can do. And this is pretty much the colour of these bushes, this colour here. Now we'll get this colour and just lightly pull down within those other greens that we put there. There we go, just pulling it down. Keep loading your brush till it's perfect. There we go. Well, it's a bit hard there. Doesn't matter, I can get the darker colour and put back over that if that ever happens. Make sure they're down like that. I'm just getting a bit more of this yellow ochre with some white and try and, there we go, using the point of this cat's tongue to get in there now and give this some, whoa, 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 Jimmy, 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 get in there. There we go. I'll get some of that green again while the camera's on, just to show you, because I put a bit too much light colour down there, as you can see. So I'm going to pick up some of that green again, the forest green, and we'll just jingle jangle him back in there like that. There we go. And probably a bit of the light colour as well, just so it makes sense. There we go, fixed up easy, eh? Now grab yourself another flat brush, something you can get a reasonably thin line with, and we just want to divide the land and the water here. So I'm going to grab my stick again. I've got my brush loaded up. And just in the middle there, where we had the black now, we want the thinnest line of white. There we go. Now we want to sink this reflection down and put a surface on top of the water. So I've got a dollop of glaze here. Now before I put anything with it, I want the white and this cerulean blue. I want to get that, the value I want, pretty much the value of the sky, a lighter value. Now that's more than enough within my brush. Okay. Grab this glaze. So you can do it freehand, grab a stick, we'll start out here and we'll put over the water and then over some of this. You're putting a film, pretty much a film everywhere, but excuse me for 1 minute. See what I did here? I just pulled some of that paint over there on top of it. You want to make sure it's dry. All your reflections are dry. While that's drying, I want to grab some of the black. I'll just do something different in the other corner. And this is leftover yellow ochre here. We'll get a dark value of that mixed up. So I didn't want just black. I wanted a dark value of this mixed up. And we'll just put some rocks under the water. So let's do something simple like that. And we can do them about here. So pretty much, get this flat on your brush. You want little ones out wherever they are. And then you can start coming some singular ones all the way out there. And then heavy. Just go heavy now. Boom, 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 boom. Watch this. I might have to change brushes when I detail these with some highlights because I feel this brush is a bit too square and pigeon-toed and awkward footing. So about there, we're just getting darks for the lighter areas. Now dry that. I'm going to use a small filbert brush. I've got a little tiny one here. I bought this a while ago and it didn't last very long. But this can give me little shapes of rocks. I'm still using the same colour oxide, yellow oxide, so I'll get some smaller ones out here, just like that, like so. And see, these will be sat down with that glazed water as well. Just some over those shadowy bits there. Get all those light bits done first, like that. It looks stupid at the moment, but when we sit it down with the glazed sky colour, it'll make sense. Now we can make rocks just like this, just leaving the brown in the middle of it to create shadow where they're sitting on the ground. This is the shallow part of the, what is it, a river? I suppose it's a lake, and there's a rocky edge here, a rocky shore. Okay, now these look like they're on top of the water. And we'll grab some of the white now and just get some of this valued up with a brighter highlight. I didn't dry it because, there we go, just very little, very little. I'm doing all the little scraggly bits out there first. And then we'll do some of these like that. We've just got light hitting them. See, I've hardly reloaded the brush. That's how much you need. You don't need much at all. And then we'll dry this and then we can glaze all that water. Just to be funky though, a couple of the bigger ones, I've just added a bit more white just on some of the bigger rocks. Maybe in this area here. We can just highlight some of those a bit brighter. Not all of them, just a pocket of them. It's pretty hard to stop once you get going in the day. So I've dried all this. It's all dry now. Pick up our glaze that we mixed before with the bit of white and a little bit of blue mixed with it. You don't want much of that paint with the glaze, I feel. That all of a sudden is going underwater. Get these rocks underwater. I'm just using this flat brush. This will dry and you'll see through it. Okay, and we want to do the same with the reflection of the there we go, look at that. It's just putting a film over the surface of the water, which creates a realistic surface to your water, I feel. Don't go too much, it'll lighten up. I don't want to kill too much of that reflection. And just to finish it off, I've got a flat brush and pure titanium white, just to get some nice sharp white lines up here to sink things down. So you'll keep them level, and these are just on top of those rocks and going into the water as well area, sinking those rocks down. Let's just put movement on top of the surface. Then we can probably put some out here as well, over some of this. Not too much. Come out into the water as well. I want to get rid of that dirty mark that I put there earlier. Now this is pretty much the wind. If anything, if there's wind on top of the water, it creates little white caps. You don't want to go too much with this, because the worst thing you can do with this is make these big, glary and bright, and you stuff it. And I just want to show a beginner how you can make something reasonably realistic. Alright, I'll put a signature on here and then we can whack a frame on it. Check out my merchandise, check out the links below. All this unique Ianapolis wear. Check it out, support me by buying that. Join my Facebook group page. You can request to have a custom portrait of yourself or your animal pet done by me. Now I'll put a frame on this. There we go. I'll turn him around. Looks good in a white bordered frame. Look at that. That's not too shabby, eh? We've got a simple lake, reflections in the water, kind of a realistic sky. And with a bit of practice, just remember you can do that. And if you're already a seasoned artist and know you can do it, well, have fun painting it. It's a great subject. It looks great on the wall in a frame. It's a perfect subject to do that, okay? And like I said, check out the links in the description below. Share, like and subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing, tell your friends, eh? But if you don't like what I'm doing, tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.